Hi Virgos, Trishna here. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be doing a success reading. So we're going to look into what's holding you back and what you can do about it so that you can achieve the success that you desire. So if you are a Virgo who is success driven, this video is for you. So what I'm feeling for you right now is I feel like you are pretty focused in some kind of direction that you're moving in. So maybe there's a certain career path that you're taking, maybe there's a certain business idea that you want to pursue, maybe there's a business idea, but like you're even more focused. There's like a Facebook group that you want to start, and you're focused on that Facebook group, that aspect of your business. And so I think that part is good. It's very good to have direction and to have a passion that you really believe in and that you're committed to. So all of that is good. The problem that I see here is I think that even though you have this commitment, even though you have this direction forward and you are pursuing it and doing the work to achieve it, I feel like you are also at the same time being almost too imaginative about it and too creative about it. And you're almost too focused on the possibilities in the future and not focused enough on the present here moment right now. So maybe if this is like a career path, maybe you're thinking like, oh, this career will take me to this location and then I'll have all these opportunities and then I'll be able to do this and that, but then how will I be able to do that? How will the timing work, there? How will I be able to move in time? Should I move now even though I don't have the opportunity? So you're really thinking about the possibilities in the future. Or maybe you're focusing on a Facebook group and you have this group, but then you're thinking about like, oh, on Mondays I can do this, and Fridays I can do this, and then I can do this, but then that will be a lot. So how will I manage all of that? And then I also have my business. So how will I manage my business with this? And what will all my topics be for my videos? And it's just becoming too much of a future discussion and not enough about the present moment. And I think that it's really good to have these ideas, but I think that you're focusing your energy too much on these future potentials. And these future potentials only go so far. A lot of them aren't built out completely yet. So whenever you shoot your energy into these future ideas and these possibilities, they end up dead ending because the end of that road is not yet figured out. So, it stops here and then your energy just stops and just gets stuck. And then, you're just all that energy could actually be invested in the present moment, because the reason why there's a dead end there is because there's things you need to be doing right now first before those paths can be completed, before those paths can be figured out, before those paths can be known. So you're like shooting off your energy into dead ends when you should be investing them here in the now so that those dead ends can become paths that continue for you, if that makes any sense. You may be thinking, but I need to figure out the answers to all of these questions and I really need to explore these possibilities, because if I don't, then I'll drive myself crazy. I won't be able to focus on what I'm doing right now, and how will I know what moves I need to make right now so that I can have those opportunities that I want in the future? And I would say to the first one of you need to know the answers right now, otherwise it'll drive you crazy. I would say no, you don't. You really only need to know the next step. And an example of this is like, for all of time, humans have wondered why we're here on this planet, where we came from, what is the meaning of life, right? We all wonder what is the meaning of life. And yet, for most of us, it doesn't plague our everyday existence. We don't think about this every morning. What is the meaning of my day? Like, sometimes you go through those phases, but for the most part, most of your life is not spent wondering what is the meaning of my life, what is the meaning of my day. We all wonder those questions. We're all living a life that we don't entirely know why, but we still move on with our lives. We still go to the next step. We still get up in the morning and complete our day. And like, there are lots of questions that we don't know the answer to, and yet we all still get up every day and we all still push through the day. Push through the day sounds like it's forceful, but we all still live our lives even though we don't know the answers to many questions about why we're here in the first place. And so take that, understand that you don't need to know where things are going to go. You don't need to explore all the possibilities in finite detail. You can think about ideas, but don't try to figure out every single little detail. Don't try to puzzle this out and find all the answers and figure it out with your logic mind, because you will not, like, you don't have to be driven crazy by that. Being driven crazy by that is a choice that you're making. You can continue with your life without those questions being answered at this very moment. And then when it comes to like, you need to know what's going to happen so that you can figure out what your move is right now. Again, like kind of what I was saying before, is you only need to know the next step. You don't need to know where that's going to go. All, like I was saying before, there are a lot of paths that are dead ended because there are things that need to be figured out now before those can be created. So, you can't, like, what you do right now is going to give you the answers to where your possibilities are going to take you and how that's going to work out. But you have to do the work now so that that can be figured out, so that then you can get the answers to those questions that you have. You might also think that focusing on what you need to be doing right now in the present is boring compared to the amazing possibilities that you could be thinking about that are, possible for your future. That's where all the fun is, the ideas, the possibilities, the big dreams are. And I would say that, yeah, big dreams can be really exciting to think about, but you're also really getting stuck in it and trying to figure things out. And it's really leaving you a little bit stagnant and trying to, because you don't have the answers. And then, what do you do when you don't have the answers? And you try to figure out the answers, but then you can't figure out the answers. So it's kind of, there's a lot of mental stuckness going on. And then the other thing I would say is, what you're doing right now can be made exciting. I mean, for the most part, like, we can make whatever we're doing right now interesting to us. It's all about how we perceive what we're doing, and whether or not we choose to make it interesting, or whether or not we choose to find the silver lining, or whether or not we choose to pick up on the parts of what we're doing right now that we love and emphasize those parts. A lot of that is personal choice. And I think for you, Virgo, you're doing something that you love. What you're doing right now is going to lead you to those big dreams. This is a focus that you have chosen, that you enjoy, that you're committed to, that you love, that's close to your heart, that is your dream. So there's a lot of excitement. It'll be easy for you to find the excitement in what you're doing right now. And I know day to day can be very mundane, but if you just remember that this is all building towards everything that you want to be, I think that maybe that can help you motivate yourself, because I guess you can get really lost, all of us can get really lost in the day to day, and it can be hard to focus on the routine or doing the same thing every day, except for when we remember and we remind ourselves how the day-to-day boring mundane stuff is tied to our bigger picture. When we tie this to the bigger dream, then the motivation comes in, then the inspiration comes in, because we're like, oh no, this is going to get me what I want. This is my key to happiness. So try to remind yourself when you're bored, or when you really want to be puzzling out your future, that everything about your future is in this moment. I think you also need to remember that your power is all in this moment. Your power isn't in living in a different time, right? The future is a different time and you're trying to go live there, but you're here. And you're here right now, and that's because you're supposed to be here right now. And like I was saying, your power is in the now, and I think if you remember that, then it'll be a lot easier to let go. I think you have a little bit of a fear of letting go of the future dreams that you have. Like, you feel like you have to think about it to make it happen, maybe, or like you have to think about it so you don't forget it so that you can go pursue it. And the thing is that the ultimate dream that you want can't be forgotten, because you're already committed to it. You're already excited about it. You're already on that path. It's what you want. The details of your future, of the possibilities that you're trying to hammer out, all of that, you're gonna get the best version of that. You don't need to remember every single detail, because the path isn't filled out for you yet. And it's going to fill out in the most amazing ways, which may not be how you imagine it right now, because you're here in this time, you're not there in that time. And at that time, there's going to be a whole new wealth of possibilities. Like, there are things that haven't been created yet that could be your possibility. And you're trying to make up possibilities from where you are right now. Where you are right now, like, your vision of the future is going to be limited, because there's just so much complexity, so many avenues, so many people building things, that it's like when we were using landlines and there were no cell phones. It's like if you wanted to start a business right before the cell phones were booming. You want to start. I'm making this up as I go along right now, so I hope that this analogy ends up being, useful. But it's like if you decided at that point in time, oh, I want to start a business of like pretty phones and I'm going to design them and I'm going to bling them up or whatever. And then your business tanks because cell phones are the new thing and you couldn't imagine that at that point in time. You didn't know that was going to come, and yet you were envisioning all these possibilities of your landline phones. And then everything shifted. So that's the same thing as like you're imagining things based off of what is here in the present. You have no idea what's coming. You have no idea the blessings and the new innovations that are coming your way that you could take advantage of then. And if you focus on your path now, you will be perfectly leveraged for those opportunities versus trying to figure out what you think is going to happen and then work your way backwards. And then you end up working towards a future that completely changes because it's not even written yet, but you're trying to write it in a different way. So I hope that this makes sense. So I hope this is helpful. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you are able to let go. Let me know how that goes. And yeah, I hope I earned your like and your subscribe, and I will see you in my next video.